Hey my beautiful peeps, locking down the truth with Marci Lock. I'm all nice and sweated up from just running the mountain and coming down. And so I was sitting here, I just meditated for like 5 minutes, and what was coming through me is really wanting to share something that's super, super powerful and can literally shift your life. And so we all know that your point of view, if your point of view changes, it changes everything. And I was talking this morning to a client about, we were looking at and breaking through some perceptions around sexual abuse. And when you think about sexual abuse, especially being done to a child, it's like, of course, that feels so wrong, and every point of view, if we look at it from society's point of view, is wrong. And we sometimes forget the greatness of our abilities. And I mean, literally, we're using like 1% of our brains. And so when we think about a child, we think a child is maybe, we say childlike, and you know, what's the words I'm looking for? It's innocent and you know, unknowing, or and so it's almost like stuff being put onto a child. But what if, even as a child, you were so consciously aware of what you chose into because of the deeper understanding of a greater good? So for instance, as soon as we flipped some perceptions for this person from everything that was wrong and trying to break through all these feelings and let go of these feelings of what was wrong, instead we shifted the perception, the point of view, to what was right about this. And so if you ask the question like, what is right about this, then all of a sudden you have a different thought, a different process, a different path that you're looking at it from. How are you doing? Hi. So this is the thought, is to ask yourself, in something that you're having resistance to, what was right about this? Because that can actually give you a great, beautiful gift of feedback of what, you know, seeing it from a different insight. And then I want you to ask yourself something else. Catch yourself in so when resistance comes up, catch yourself in what point of view you're having, the thought, the belief, the perception, and almost if you can detach from it and say, it's interesting that I have that interesting point of view. And just seeing it as an interesting point of view that you just happen to choose, because true consciousness is every single option, every single idea, every single thought being an option. True consciousness is that there are no boxes or parameters or limitations. You are limitless possibilities. So all of a sudden, when you just simply direct your mind, because we know our minds are these amazing capacities and abilities that we haven't even tapped into, we simply give our mind the direction to go into that place. All of a sudden we see there's a whole other world of limitless possibilities. So for instance, like if we think about how we've been taught and trained, and so even thinking about the alphabet, these are the options for the alphabet. There's A through Z. Well, what happens when you get to Z? We think it just ends. Well, when you go back and you realize, what if you took 50 A's and put them with one B? Or the combo of A, B, and C plus Z. Like, and the limitless, the amounts of the different numbers and the capacities and the things that you could put together, how many different combos and options there are. See, there are limitless, infinite possibilities. And when you simply say, it's interesting that I had that interesting point of view about this thing, and what would be right about this situation. So it is what it is, you had the experience. Also, when this person looked at it as what was right about it, and instead of what was wrong about it, they tapped into this understanding that literally blew me away, that they were meant to be the child in that experience, to free the adults in that experience to go down a certain path and process and assist a lot more people. They chose in on that. And when you saw it from that point of view, all of a sudden it became right. And what did they learn from it, and who did it allow them to be today? And we can drop the stories of what was wrong, and having this energy and this feeling of shame and burden on us, and we can create that it was right because it was, and what do we get to do with it moving forward? So I'm going to wrap it up with this. If you simply chose to see everything you've ever experienced as is, out of the eyes of love, as in every experience, everything I've ever had has been, I see it out of love now. There's no shame. Even the experiences that I had where I shamed myself, I literally went through an experience in Columbia where I saw the shame I held in my body, that I hated myself as a child. I thought I was stupid and ugly, and I literally wanted to be invisible. I wanted to kill myself. Like, I hated myself. And seeing that out of love, like, wow, that was such a beautiful experience for me, and I see the love out of that, and I don't shame myself for that. I love that. And then out of that love for myself, I can now go, well, what's next? What's the next action I get to take out of love to create something different? So if you simply decided to see everything as is, out of how is it right, and how is it out of love, and how do you get to move forward, you literally are fucking limitless, infinite possibility and power. This is Marci Lock. I'm gonna go play some more. Power of choice is yours. Choose your best life. Lock it down.